Hello, Puggies, and welcome to Living the Pug Life show, brought to you by Pug Parties, because your pug deserves to be the best dressed at the party. Tonight, I'm really excited to introduce our awesome guests, Lynne, Gerald, and Oscar. So Gerald and Oscar are brothers from another mother. Both boys come into Lynne's life in different ways, but both boys' previous families couldn't look after them anymore, so Lynne jumped at the chance to be their pug mum. But unlike Gerald, Oscar has had another family prior to this one, so it took a little longer for him to find the love of his life, his pug mum, Lynne. Both Gerald and Oscar are original Pug Parties Super Models, and although they may be older than the typical model, they bring experience and the right amount of pout to every photo shoot that only can be achieved after years of demanding treaties, or more specifically in their case, chicken nuggets or possibly even hamburger patties. So please join me in welcoming Lynne, Gerald and Oscar. Yay! Hopefully that should, whoops, no, wrong one, right, we got you in there. Terrible. Hello. So for everyone, Lynne, and this is Oscar in Lynne's arms. He's having a bit of a snooze.
Yes.
Cuddle.
Gerald is being a supermodel at the moment, and he's a bit sulky. He hasn't. He's waiting for his treat.
For nighttime snackies, yes. Well, Charles has decided tonight's the night for a boys' night, and I've got Rosie, and she's already fast asleep. She's in a Pugs Bunny hoodie, and of course it's all nice and cozy, and she's decided that she doesn't want to show up. Oh, excuse me. Oh, dearie me. So I'll just say hello to everyone that's popped in already. So hello, Kim, and hello, Tonka. It's wonderful to see you guys. And hello to Joanne. And I was going to say, here's the other one. And hello to Willow as well. It was so lovely to see all the comments that everyone posted after the show last week. Oh, dearie me. I think I need to, excuse me for a second. I need to have a drink of my tea. That's what I get for talking. Or maybe it's not practicing enough now that we're back in lockdown again, and we didn't actually get to go to playgroup this morning. Oh, dearie me. Who else have we got? Hello to Elvie. Hello. Oh, hello. We have a new guest, Perry Mack. Hello to Gerald and Oscar. Which is
Gerald knows Perry Mack very well. That was his mama at one point.
Oh, lovely.
His first mama, Orton.
Oh, very nice. Hello to Elle. Thank you. I love your Facebook photo as well with your puggy. That is just absolutely gorgeous. You'll have to give us a shout out and tell us your puggy's name. And hello to Rachel and Agatha. It's lovely to see you. Dearie me, I seem to have coughed on a fur ball. Either that or one of Rosie's little fibres of joy have gotten stuck in my throat. Right. So hello to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I think approximately 1/3 of the country is in lockdown now. So we've Victoria has now joined our New South Wales friends, and I know that Queensland sort of seems to be kind of on the edge. So I hope to God that nobody else has to go through what we're going through again. The only upside is it's been raining all weekend, and I think it's meant to rain all week next week as well. So although we have missed playgroup, at least it was not a sunny day.
That's it. Gerald still doesn't think that's good enough, but anyway.
Right. Well, now that we've got comfortable in, and we've done the intro, Lynne, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself, Gerald and Oscar?
Okay. Yes. So Gerald first came to us. He's had the same family for a long time, just a different household. So Gerald's very lucky to have quite an extended family. So Perry Mac there fell in love with him found him in the old days of pet store and just couldn't resist him. Now, with the little photo you would have seen with him with all ears, that was Michelle, like his previous sister as well, human sister, so auntie, I should say. So, yeah, they very busy lives. So, about a year or so, and I kept saying that I was going to steal Gerald one day. So, the time came when they were very busy and just knew that Gerald just needed more people around at home, and I had a working environment that I could be at home a lot more. So he one day turned up at home and never looked back.
So you pug napped him.
Pug napped him pretty much, and what's fortunate is he's got such a good sense of family that between you, Gerald can go with anyone. He quite often will go to visit, or now live up at Queensland. But Gerald had been known to go to a party on the odd occasion, like someone would come and pick him up. There's quite a life, Gerald does. So very much. His family from the start is very much in his life now. So I'm his main person, but really he's got a lot of people in his life that he calls family. So he's very lucky.
Absolutely. It's so rare to hear of a pug who goes to a new family but is for whatever the circumstances are, but actually gets to stay in contact with their past family.
Yeah, and he does. He very much knows that. So he's got quite the big family. So quite the Kiwi families, even though they're not Kiwis. Little Oscar, he came to us. His people. Now he did start at he came to Pug Rescue a long time ago, and we found a photo. And by the time Oscar had come to me, he was 8 years old, and I found a photo of him at Pug Adoption, and he was in exactly the same position as he was like about 6 years ago. So his daddy had a couple of human babies, and he really tried to look after Oscar. As you can see, Oscar's a baby himself, and so through friends of mine who said, we know someone who would absolutely jump at the chance to take in another little guy. So Steve, his dad's name, was very brave and gave me a text and said, would you like to have Oscar in your home? Brought him up, and it was very hard for him. So we've kept in touch with Steve as well, who came and visited Oscar a few years later at the dog show when we were all together.
Oh, yes.
Well. So came and got some photos with him and his two little human children, and he was still sad. So Oscar, even though Oscar is doesn't quite remember everyone in his life, he was still happy to get a photo, and he still has very much his previous person who checks in on him and likes to know how he's going. So that's really nice as well. So he's had quite the time, and Oscar doesn't remember his pug rescue days, so that's good. He lives in the present.
I was going to say, lives a pretty bloody good life, I will say that. Now, interestingly, Gerald's the younger of the two. Gerald, I probably should qualify because some people might ask. Gerald is a Puggalee.
Yes, he's a Puggalee.
And he's definitely more Cav than Pug in face and sort of body shape. It's incredible. But he really, in my opinion, he really does have the Puggitude.
He has the Pug stubbornness. He has the Pug, absolutely, is full-on Pug personality. But to look at, you can see, you sort of blink and you have a look either way. And he's a giant either way, but definitely a giant in all ways. personality. I've
Absolutely.
never known anything like it, to be honest, but he's a very good boy. But yeah, 11, Gerald turned 11 on the 28th of June, and
Oh, yes.
Oscar, yes, and Oscar will turn 14 on the 7th of September this year. So
See, he's a Virgo, always a good thing.
that's it. But yeah, Oscar's very much the baby, and Gerald's very much the toddler.
In reverse.
That's it.
Now it's lovely. Just a couple more people have just popped in. So Alison wanted to say hello. So Alison's another Pug supermodel of ours who has, Pug-mom to Pug supermodels, little Mika and Yindy. And they'll be popping by for their own show in a few weeks' time. And Erin Knight, I'm guessing it's the other way round, wanted to say hello. Gerald won't look at the camera. Yes, we even have those at photo shoot days.
Yes. Hello, Auntie Erin and Uncle Al.
So Joanne said to say that you have gorgeous pugs. So yes, I was going to say we should.
I'm a bit biased.
Oh no, we've changed position on
the
couch.
It's called he's going to stink eye as much as he can as we.
Oh yes.
We get his.
Now I hope you don't mind me asking because Gerald's wonderful. He is so full of life, and I think he's rarely ever had any health problems. But Oscar's definitely the one that's starting to have a few challenges. Can you share those?
So yeah, we Oscar. Well, a couple of years ago, he survived a mast cell tumor as well, like that turned up, and pretty much overnight. So one thing I will say with these guys. With pugs in general is, for such little guys and they seem like little babies, they won't tell you when they're unwell and they won't tell you when they're in pain, and you have to guess. They're quite little stoic little animals. They're quite little staunch guys, and all they want to do, I mean, they were bred to be companion animals, and so they tend to look after everyone else, and it's so funny. So you just guess. So I just because he's always like this, I can always feel him and thought, oh, is that a nipple? But I knew that wasn't in a place that was that. But I'm one of those people that even get told off by the vet for how often I take them down there. But I figure they can't tell me what's wrong. But and over in days it had grown to the size of a golf ball. So he came in and we thought a couple of years back. So he survived that. Got a nice little scar under here. He's very
chicks dig scars.
Good boy. Yeah, that's it. He's covered. But he went. He's suffered seizures on the odd occasion. His seizures tend to be he'll just stay in one spot and you don't know. And he had a big one, then went deaf. So they say there was no connection, but it seemed to be pretty much at the same time. But every time I think he's, is this it? He bounces back, and he's a bit dementia, so means he doesn't know. Part of that is not knowing when he needs to go to the bathroom. Like he can wee, he knows that feeling, but he doesn't. He's quite often a bit late when it comes to pooping it.
Bit late to the party.
A bit late, but what's always interesting is he seems to manage to do that around where my partner is, not around me. So it's always. I think it could be selective, but like we might be tag teaming on that, hey, with what we do.
Oh, your Oscar. I have to, in the early days of having Winston and Charles trying to toilet train them, Andrew will kill me for saying this, but it always felt like they knew where to poop. And it was right as Andrew was walking in the door. It was just barefoot, shoes, work shoes, thongs, didn't matter what it was. And he'd curse. And I just look at him and go, what do you expect? They've been toilet trained.
Well, Oscar was very good toilet trained. This is purely because he doesn't know. But if you want to talk about odd places to poop, and it always gets down to poop. He even pooped in my partner's hand one morning, like in the bed. So he was asleep, and Oscar backed up, and Jay woke up wondering what he had, and it was a gift. Oscar was perfectly, he was fine. All he knew is he didn't feel like he needed to go to the bathroom anymore, and it just left the rest of the house in some chaos. I was laughing because it wasn't me, and I was quite happy. On the other hand, thinks that I've trained him to do it, but anyway.
That's gold. Well, I'll go and tell Andrew he's not the only one being targeted.
Yeah. But, so and Oscar occasionally is, and he's had quite a few teeth removed now, and that tends to be, he's got the typical pug teeth that cross over, so very hard to clean, and so and the eyes with the pigmentation.
Yes, Kim, it will scroll in a minute, but it's basic. I think Kim forgot to say a gift of a chocolate puggy brownie.
Oh. Hey, are we talking about you?
Yeah.
Very you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have to admit, whenever we're at photo shoots, which is kind of a little bit off topic, it's so funny. Like Gerald's usually the one that will be 50-50. No, had a gutful. And he'll walk off, which is fine. And to be honest, sometimes some of Gerald's best photos are the ones where he's cracked the shits at us and he's walked off. And Andrew's just managed to get a couple of photos of the look on his face as he's cracking it and walking away. Whereas Oscar, he is just amazing. He will just sit there. Like, I've never known a more, there we go. I've never known a more placid dog that is just happy to sit there all day long and be fed treats. Sounds a bit like a Greek goddess, to be honest, being fed peeled grapes. Oh, no, we've had a change of heart. Got to get down. Had enough.
That's it. He's seen his bed. Or, there we go. He needed to poop.
Oh, what are the odds? What are the odds? Do you need a moment to clean it up?
Give me a sec.
Absolutely. Whilst the beauty about a live show is that we get everything. So it would appear that Oscar has heard the toilet call just at the moment. So amazingly, I will share that obviously one of the other things that I do love about Oscar and Gerald, because we also go to the same play group, is that Gerald is always the pug. Whenever somebody's got treats, Gerald will be the first one lined up, and he will happily sit, plonk his bum down to have a treat. I was going to say, Kim's on fire tonight. The chocolate brownie for tonight, absolutely the beauty of a live show. Oh, dearie me. So whereas Oscar was always the one that was quite happy to have mum carry him all day long. So even though you're seeing Oscar being, and there's Gerald. No, we're going to come behind. He's going to come behind on the couch behind you. There we go.
That's his usual spot when I work.
Hello. Keeping an eye on you. Had enough. So Oscar's down in his bed now, and
so he went to the back door because he knew that he had to do something, and then he's like, "Well, nothing's here, so why am I here?" So, often, and that's the thing with Oscar, and there's the joy and the sadness about an old pug, and I love the old pugs, but they do all these funny things, but it's sad at the same time each time. And one of the funniest things, but the saddest for me, is that Oscar, he'll sort of forget things, and he'll turn around in his bed and then start barking and carrying on because everyone's left him. And then you turn him around, and then he's all happy because you're back. No one's gone anywhere, but like he's so. And it makes you laugh, but it's
how dare you leave?
That's it, because very much like I said, Gerald has an extended family, and if he knows that you're in his extended family, like his mum Perry, that, or his cousins, everything. He's all fine to be with them. He'll spend the day with them. But Oscar very much. That's when he first came to live with us. I thought he's adapted so quickly. It was like he already knew that I was his person, and that's the way it is. Like with Oscar, no matter he loves other people, but he wouldn't go with anyone else. Like I'm his person, and so it's just as well we are in lockdown, which has made that worse because I've worked from home, so now I can never go anywhere ever again. He has to.
You're stuck. It's almost a bit misery like.
Yeah.
A version of misery.
Except instead of taking out your ankles, he poops in your hand.
Or at your feet.
And so there's a couple of times where you've thought, a bit gassy, because he is a gassy little dog. Another little treat that Oscar pulls is I spend a lot of time on Zoom and Teams and things now, and it takes a second for the camera to get on. And Oscar has a great tendency to burp or something just as it comes on. So, of course, I'm the only one sitting there. There's a person sounding burp there, and Oscar gets... and I do blame the dog thing.
Absolutely.
He's decided to go and try and sit on the cat. He fights for the heater. So, He'll forget why he's there in a minute and come back over, I'm sure. So.
No, well, that's fair enough.
And so,
Gerald. Tell us something about Gerald. Tell us a Gerald adventure, because he's probably, look at it, he's sulking currently. We've talked about Oscar too much.
Yep. So, Gerald, just about any time in the morning to going to bed is a Gerald adventure. So there's something always seems to happen one way or another. I think, I don't know, he's had so many, but he's pretty famous around Cranbourne where I live. So it's not actually unusual for me to be walking along the street and someone from a car yell out Gerald. And like I won't know that, so he'll do something running, someone's yelling out Gerald. So I don't know. He's really famous around here. But I think a big adventure he had. Well, both of them. I got lucky enough. I used to look after a lot of youth, and that went to all sorts of different interesting schools, and they of course weren't allowed pets or animals in the residential houses. And so Gerald and Oscar got invited to a bring your pet to school day at one of these schools. So they came along, and Gerald just loved it. But it sort of ended with Gerald nearly kidnapped by about 15 kids in one direction. Oscar ended up on the school bus, and at the end of it, they both just we were all three of us staring just straight ahead in the car, and they had to get a treat on the way home from Macca's. But Gerald spent, that was one time with Oscar, but Gerald has spent quite a bit of time in the residential houses as a bit of a therapeutic hub, because he's a big guy and, keep an eye on. And it was amazing, as soon as Gerald would go into the house, no matter what was going on, the kids would stop. And I remember one kid storming in the house, had a rough night or whatever, coming in, bit of swearing, bit of this and that, walked past Gerald, slammed her door shut, and then I looked and her door opened, her hand went out and patted Gerald, and then shot back in the room. And he spent his whole time, like I think in Resia, just getting fed, sitting at the end. You'd find him at the end of someone's bed, or definitely under the table where they were eating. And like I said, his whole life is adventure. He's gone a lot of places, Gerald. So, but the school I think was a big one for.
Oh, yes. Now, I am going to ask you about others because it's one of my favourites, but I just want to mention after that, I have to, Perry Mack also mentioned something about Gerald in one of the comments, but I want you to share this story first, the pantry photo.
Oh, so yes, that's what I mean. Every day is an adventure, Gerald. I can't even narrow it down. So, I just was walking in the kitchen and thinking, oh, where's Gerald? Because usually his place is by my feet. And, wandering around thinking, well, we can't have got anywhere. The place is open the cupboard, he's in there. And how we got in there and on the second shelf is no one will ever know, but I open the door and he looks at me like, is there a problem? And and that's pretty much how he spent his time. And just sat there like looking, and then just got out when he decided. I just sort of shut it like, not a problem at all. And it's not just the pantry. I wondered at one point there was Gerald, there you go. He's managed to get on top of kitchen counters that was nigh impossible, and I wondered what was happening, how things were disappearing. Often you know something's up, but you're not quite sure how. And then I heard a bit of noise. I'd come in, and he was climbing up a bookshelf, so not allowed, that was beside it, and I caught him just as his front paws were on the counter and his back was stretched out, and he sort of sprung over. How he hadn't broken his leg since then. And yeah, and I think I filmed him as well. He ate a whole pizza. And just unbelievable. If there's a will, there's a way. And when he first, when I first met Gerald, he gave up his freedom. He took off into the next door neighbour's yard, like Barry had brought him over for a visit. Took off into the next door, would not listen, as Gerald doesn't. And I thought, I don't know, does he respond to food? I had half a wafer, water crack in my hand. Gerald was like the sixth back sense and just sprung it and took it, and then we had him. And I thought, yep, that's how he goes with everything. Oscar, that's his barking.
Yeah. Neat. I thought there was a bit of a hurry up there, human. Now we've got the boys together in the one shot.
There we go. Yeah, so anything food related with Gerald. Oh.
So masking tape on the fridge. I mean, this is the golden opportunity of having Gerald and Oscar's last families who can share these tidbits.
So yes, so we all had a big family Australia Day in the days that we were allowed to see each other. And this was a couple of years back, and I don't eat meat, so Gerald and that are quite often very disappointed at my food choices. And anyway, we had this big Australia Day barbecue, so there was just meat everywhere. Like Gerald's eyes gleamed, like if you've ever watched Pulp Fiction and they open the suitcase and the gold comes out, that's like Gerald's face when he saw this meat. And then the meat wasn't there anymore; it was all in the fridge, so he knew that it was there, and he spent just hours on hours until opening that door. We had to masking tape it up, and there was nothing wrong with the seal until then. Now the fridge now has we have to have a baby lock on it. So and he's still managing it because he remembers that one golden time that there was like all that meat there, and he's just so smart. He's so clever that and he would wait till if I went to the bathroom or the shower, and then I could hear him race out and pulling that thing apart, like to try and, he goes, I've got 2 minutes while she's there, I'm going to make use of it. So yeah, masking tape.
Oh, now we've talked about him enough. He's happy to come a bit closer.
Yes.
Oh.
But this is one of his favourite jackets. Do you remember the
shirt? Yes, that was like an original collection. It looked fantastic on him. He looked like it was like Pimp My Pug.
He was. He's a little he won't let me touch it. Actually, it's funny with Gerald, he won't let me put clothes on, but he will let you and Andrew put clothes on him.
Look, I think it's just practice.
Yes, and treats. So yes, Gerald, anything food orientated, like said at the dog show when we were all in the city, and took Gerald out for his turn to go to the bathroom, and outside the hedge, all talking with a whole group of other doggy people, and Gerald finds a sausage under the hedge. There had been no sausage sizzle. No one knows where it came from. He's found full Scotch eggs up the road to High Street. Who even eats those? So I don't know. It's a sixth sense.
Well, to be honest, we should get Gerald and Willow together. Willow's finding undies, Gerald's finding food. Like we could be using them as some sort of pug drug sniffing squad.
I imagine Gerald at the airport. Kids would be knocked over left, right, centre for this.
So Rachel said she loves his little black nose. So it will scroll up. It does, it takes a little time for Gerald's notice is saying, Kim, she's the up-and-coming bank robber. You get into fridges and get into pantries and climb up.
Anything.
I mean, when you sent that photo out, I was just absolutely amazed. I thought, how in God's name did he manage to get up there and actually maneuver himself in and around? That was incredible.
So me, a very, very smart dog. Anyone that thinks these guys are silly, there's no way. And with Gerald, if there's food involved, he will find a way to do it. And he's got, he remembers everything. So it's like that would have been planning for probably months. He would have seen that and he's, figured out how to do it. But yeah, seriously, Gerald has about 9 lives. Another story he had was before he came to us was another adventure when he was a little guy is he managed to get out of his house without, I don't think people knew, a gate, and was found running along South Gippsland Highway just by himself running along, and someone picked him up, fortunately took him to a vet, and we had our names down as his contact people outside of Perry. And yeah, like the guy said, if he goes, I really wanted to just take him home because he was so cute. And Gerald not phased. He's got 9 lives, and I think Gerald has never had anything hurt him in his life that he just doesn't believe anything can, and that's to work for him.
It's just amazing, both of them. So tell me, what's the favourite thing you like to do with the boys? Or what's the favourite thing the boys like doing with you?
Look, I think the favourite thing is going out when we're in the car together quite a lot with Gerald. He puts his hand on mine. He's not so good, but he will put his hand on mine and just sit there in the car like anything that is just us. So I think us going up to, say, Kalunga Reserve and where we can just get out and walk and be just us 3 together, that's the best thing, like for all of us. And to be honest, I just think anywhere that I take him that brings joy to others, and it sounds cliche and poxy, but it really does. When I
completely,
when I very first realised that I liked pugs, because I didn't when I was a kid. I was actually scared of them. I didn't know what they were, and my very first introduction were a couple of pugs called Tarzan and Princess, and they would just bark at you across. And I thought, in New Zealand, that's the oddest little things I've ever seen. And but I remember walking past a little pug in Baldwin and thinking that dog smiled at me, and then I just loved them since. And I think we get that a lot. Gerald's probably has got photos all around the world from when we got a tulip farm, and people take photos of him, and people stop and ask to take photos of them all the time. So I think the favourite thing is just seeing that other people get joy out of these guys as well. They join us for meetings. There's just something really nice about them.
Now, what's their favourite food? Because I know I did say chicken nuggets because I was almost certain that it was chicken nuggets, but I actually don't think that's their favourite food.
No. So, I mean, it's right up there. There's no doubt about it. So
scales.
That's it. I think their favourite would be I get them a roast chicken every now and then from up the store, and that is the best thing in their whole life. As far as I can see, there is nothing as good as that. So a Macca's patty, yep, that's all pretty good up there. That's a treat after a big day. But if I get that chicken and they smell it, then that's all there is in the world. So that would be both their favourite foods. Like, they love it. And there's snacks, pretty much anything else you can get. But that roast chicken would be the favourite.
Nice. And so my last question is, like I've asked everyone, and it obviously doesn't have to be a Pug Parties outfit, it's okay, but what's your favourite outfit on both of the boys?
Well, actually, the cable knit that Gerald wore at the show would be my favourite.
Yeah.
For him. Like, that was That was great. That was stunning. He's really suited. It looked like a little old guy / kid at the same time. He looked really cool.
Yeah, cable knit hoodie. Yeah.
Yeah, for that. And with Oscar, actually, his favourite and mine is his reindeer outfit.
Oh, yes, his reindeer onesie.
He loves it. Yeah, that's what he wears when we go up to the park and up the road. And he sits there, and I actually have it out because he likes sitting on it as well.
Oh, really? It is quite cozy and
Yep.
soft.
Yeah, so no, that's what he likes. Whereas Gerald probably does actually prefer the jacket to wear for him because it's light, whereas I like the champagne. But yeah, Oscar loves that reindeer outfit.
No, and it does look gorgeous on him. It's a pity we don't have that in the collection anymore, but that's just wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I cannot believe we've already spirited 35 minutes, and we've had like a couple of interesting things occur as well, which is the beauty of a live show. Thank you very much, Oscar. Like, we all know that being a pug parent means being resilient, and at least it wasn't in your hand.
Well, yeah,
absolutely wonderful. So we do have to choose tonight's winner of the Pug Parties gift card, and thank you so much for the new people that joined us tonight. It was wonderful. I want to give it to Perry Mack just because you gave us that extra little story, which was absolute. It was just a gem. About the fridge, which I'd never heard before. So unbelievable what Gerald can do. I swear to God, he and Winston were like kindred spirits when it comes to like Oscar is such a good little boy.
He is my good little boy. And yeah, Gerald, on the other hand, there will never ever in this whole lifetime ever be another Gerald. There is no doubt. Well, there will never be enough of anything, but there's no one like Gerald.
Definitely that's for sure. So Perry, I'll try and send you a direct message either tonight or tomorrow, so we can get your details, so we can send out the e-gift card to you. And if you don't have your own dog or pug to spend it on, I am certain that Gerald and Oscar would love a present. So they're never going to say no to that, the boys, even though they do already, as a pug supermodel, they do get to enjoy outfits on top of that. No puggy can say no.
Hey.
So thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and I hope you had a good a time as I did getting to know Lynne, Gerald and Oscar. Oscar probably a little bit more than what we're used to. We'll be hanging around after the show to read and respond to everyone's messages, so please say hello if you haven't already. And now if you had fun tonight and would like to share your pug life with other pug parents, we'd love to have you on the show, and all it takes is an email to haylo@pugparties.com. Don't worry about it. I promise I will pop the email address into the comment box at the end, and I'll be in contact with you directly to set everything up. Also, if you know a pug parent or two who'd like to join in, then please invite them to come and join us, as we'd love to get to know them as well. And finally, I am happy to introduce, I forgot, I should have known better. Excuse me for a second, I just need to pop up this beautiful photo. So I'd like to introduce Betty the Pug and her parent, Louise, and her human sister, Darcy, who'll be joining us next week to share their adventures. So I hope to see you there. It's going to be wonderful. So Puggies, until next week, have a pawsome week, even if you are in lockdown. And humans, generous with the snackies. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you again next week. So I'm going to remember. Bye. See you guys.
Bye.
See you. Thank you so much.
See you.